OMG, he's using crystals today, finally. This candle, you can't tell, but it is lit. The flame is just very shy. I hope they get it together. That's all I hope for. I tried to make him like sit today, like kind of, lounge and like leisure. Cause, I feel like I'd be making him like work a lot, I was just like, take a break. Take a break, King. Hi. Hello. So, in today's pick a card reading, which by the way, I'm so sorry for not posting on Monday. I was just not feeling it. I'll talk about it in the ramble after I do all the intro stuff. So, in today's pick a card reading, we're going to do messages and kind of like guidance regarding your finances and your career. And somebody actually recommended this, and you know what, I already have another video planned, so I'm gonna just do that for next one, hashtag strategy. So yeah, I forgot what the name was. It was divine something. I'll probably put it in one of the clips in the beginning, but yeah, they requested it, or they like recommended it, and I was like, you know what, you're right, because I love watching finance readings. I feel like I'm a Taurus moon, and so I just take money super seriously, and I have a very emotional reaction to it. And I love readings that tell you what you need to do and like messages regarding that stuff without it coming off as like abrasive or like, like, oh, don't do this. But it's like, realistically, everything works out anyway, so you may as well have a good attitude about it. So yeah, for today, for pile one, we have this labradorite cube. Oh my gosh, that was so hard to say. And then we have for pile 2 a selenite stick. And then for pile 3 we had this rose quartz heart. Kind of getting the piles out of the way. If you've chosen your pile, have fun. But if you want to sit and listen to me ramble, hi. So I got my car back. The windshield's fixed, but my registration's expired. So I've been driving around with expired tags. And it's not that bad. It's only expired by like a few days. And the stickers are coming in, that's why I haven't gotten anything from the DMV, but that's pretty annoying. And I have to drive a bunch today because I want to go do something, and I'm trying stand-up comedy, so I'm chasing that dream, lol. But yeah, also, y'all, the What Makes You Attractive reading is going crazy right now. It's Wednesday when I'm filming this. And can I just say, if you're coming from that video, or like if you're listening to this in period, I love you. You're literally making someone's dream come true. And that makes me so happy. And I owe you all the world. And I love y'all. Like, excuse me? Like, yeah, thank you so much, y'all. Honestly, I knew I wanted to do YouTube, and I knew at some point this was gonna happen. But now that it's actually happening, and it's being put into perspective that it's because of other people supporting me and watching my stuff, it just is so humbling. Like, thank you all so much. Let's just get right into the reading, honestly. Hi, pile 1. If you chose the labradorite cube, this is going to be your reading. So we actually have 2 oracle cards here, as you can see. So I liked the style that I did in my last reading, the What Makes You Attractive. So I'm gonna follow that kind of format again, minus the oracle cards at the end, because I feel like that was like a little extra. And like Material Girl loves saving time. So for your 2 oracle cards, we have Unknown and Labyrinth. Sorry, I was just like trying to show. Here, I'll show you this card. It's literally just like a blank card. So right off the bat, pile 1, I feel called to mention that with Labyrinth. Labyrinth gives me this vibe of daydreamy and, thinking of what you want. So with the Unknown card, I feel like your financial future isn't literally, well, it probably is unknown, but it's unknown because you have so much influence over it. And honestly, I sense a lot of Capricorn energy just from this reading alone because of the Labradorite and the amount of like, I just feel like you're a hard worker, pile 1, and I feel like you really do stop at nothing to get what you want, and I think that this applies in all aspects of your life. But I think that you should understand that what's coming up next in terms of your career and finances will heavily be inspired and influenced by what you want, what it is that you're asking for from the universe and from yourself. And what I mean by that is, don't go forth from a place of lack or wanting to prove yourself if you have dealt with that before. I feel like that won't do anything for you. The Labyrinth card, I also think that maybe you need to rest for now and stop obsessing over your future regarding this topic. I think that maybe it's one that stresses you out, or one that maybe you are constantly worried about, or working towards and kind of like grinding in. And I'm sensing that you are a very hard worker, and I think that it's a good thing. Your work ethic is probably unmatched. But simultaneously, Pile 1, I think that your rest, the quality of your rest doesn't match up to the quality of your work. And this kind of causes a bunch of different things. I think that, it's too easy for tarot readers and people in general to give you, like, take a break, But really, take a break means something completely different from person to person. When someone tells me take a break, I don't know what taking a break is. I don't understand what taking a break is. My parents were immigrants. They were, they worked a lot. They owned a small business. They're always working my childhood. So it was never taught to me what taking a break was. And I feel like a lot of us can kind of relate to that. And I think that for you, taking a break may very well may be just contemplating your next move. Taking a break isn't taking a bath with bath salts, sugar scrubs, face masks, because as relaxing as that is, and you should try those things, by the way, Pile 1. If you're not really into that stuff, I highly recommend you still indulge in it a little bit. Whether or not it actually does something for you, you're taking care of your physical body, and that alone does wonders for all of, like, for you, and most importantly, the people around you, because you will feel more up to the challenge, if you know what I mean, physically. But Pile 1, I am sensing that it would be nice if, resting was a little bit more defined to you. And I think that in this situation, what I can say is that it would really help you to think about what you're going to do next, take inspired action. And how you can do that is, really practice gratitude. And not saying that you're ungrateful or anything, but when I say gratitude, it's like, take stock, take inventory. And Pile 1, I think you're very good at this. It's probably the reason why you've excelled at jobs before. But, you probably be a good manager. Look around yourself. What is it that you're looking for? What do you feel is missing, And when you ask that question, it becomes evident to you what it is that you want. Because you're like, oh, I don't have this. When you're going to the grocery store, it helps to know what you're going to the grocery store for, Otherwise, it's a waste of gas. And let's be real, y'all. In this economy, we cannot be wasting gas. And, if you're looking in your pantry, you're like, wow, I finished my boxes of cereal and my granola bars, and wow, we're out of flour. I didn't even know we didn't have flour. So now you know what it is that you're looking for, so you can go to the grocery store with purpose. You use that gas effectively, and you came in there, saved as much time as possible, and you got out. It was a clean-cut process, and I don't think anything in this world satisfies you more than a clean-cut process, Pile 1. Maybe you suffer from control freak tendencies, or maybe you overmanage your time. You could have Libra placements in your chart, because I know I'm a Libra Mars, and I do that. You could be very impatient. But do know that with this Labyrinth card, it would do you some good to ask yourself and really, really think big on what it is that you want. And when I say think big, I mean really, like, whatever big is to you, I feel as though long-term goals would be better for you, because it would keep you more occupied, and it would be, like, I think you're very good at battles of attrition, if you know what I mean. As in, you're very good in the long run, and you're very good at, you're not about winning the battle. You're about winning the war. You're not concerned as much about petty little victories along the way, day-to-day victories. I think that long-term goals satisfy you more, and I think that you really like to see yourself grow and like to see a situation that you dedicate your energy into grow. So really ask yourself these things and really be careful, because I really do think that in these next few months, even, I think collectively as a whole, we're transforming a lot, and it's very important that whatever seed you plant now was planted very carefully, and it's something that you 100% agree with and align with. If you're not a very spiritual person or religious person at all, something that you're just really into, something that you're like, yeah, I can do this. I can get down to this. I'm so ready for that. And pile one, just think about the long-term goals and think about what it is that you are looking for in the future. And also maybe recently with finances and career, everything's been kind of uncertain. Maybe you haven't been working at all whatsoever, and maybe you're kind of stressed out about what you can do next. Maybe you've been like feverishly applying to jobs, or you're worried, or you feel like you're gonna go broke or homeless or something. Pile one, literally know that you will not let that happen. Know that you are better than that. Know that you will never let that was a fear installed into you by somebody else or by something else. Realistically, if it came down to it, you would know how to scrape by and you would know how to save yourself. As much as we like to admit it or not, in our primal code, we will save ourselves. And when we're in a situation that is dire and scary, we will find a way. And fear is our biggest motivator. So just know that there's no reason to be afraid. There's no reason to, just constantly fear this day-to-day life. If you're suffering from a lack of routine now, even though you're a routine-oriented person, just start with the little things, okay? Like I ate breakfast this morning and I haven't eaten breakfast like that in a while. I cooked this morning. I was like, wow, I haven't done this in a really long time, but it felt good. Do things like that. Do little mundane chores and kind of keep the ball rolling, and you will see things come into fruition. But yeah, don't stress too much about the future. Controlling it too much when you have a lack of a grip on the moment and the present is just kind of like you're living in the future, and because of that you're throwing away the moment, which you need the moment to influence the future. So if you're throwing away the moment, you're also making the future even more uncertain, and because of that you're making the future even more terrifying and stressful, because it's becoming even more uncertain as a result of self-sabotage or fear. So just don't worry about it. And obviously, I can't just say don't worry about it. We're human. That's not a thing. If I tell you don't worry about it, it's like you're gonna be like, "What do you mean don't worry about it? I'm still worried." And understand that your worry is valid, but don't truthfully ruminate. If you catch yourself worrying too much, do whatever it takes to understand that feeling is totally fine, and understand that it's just your body trying to protect you. Okay. And honestly, I'm guilty of this. Like, I be worrying too. I be anxious. I be laying in bed, heart palpitations AF. But just know that you're safe in the moment, because you have complete control in the moment over your decisions and how you react. And naturally, as a result, that makes the future even more forgiving, promised, and fruitful. So let's get into the tarot here, pile one. Just know that your finances and your career is really based on what you do now and what energy you exhibit now. And what I mean by that is how you take care of yourself, how you treat yourself, how you treat personal matters and business matters, any matters related to this topic, especially finances and career. It will heavily dictate how you do in the future. And it will heavily dictate how you react to those things in the future and what you manifest. And understand, pile one, we have complete control over money and our careers. It's really a matter of how much you want it and how much work you're willing to put in. But yeah, let's get right into the tarot. I feel like this reading has taken a very spiritual undertone, despite the fact that you may be a more logical person, pile one. But I do think that a little bit of belief in magic could do you some good, because maybe you're prone to being cynical or like bitter. And not saying that you're angry or nothing. You could be the most happy-go-lucky person in the world, but I do feel as though like you prefer to rely on the facts and the logic and what is truly tangible, something that's written down. And I totally understand that, so I'll keep that in mind as I pull these cards. All right, we're using the Lua Tarot today. I love this tarot deck. Go on Etsy. The shop's called Divine Muses. So amazing. They are so nice. I love them. Anyways, some messages regarding pile one's finances and career. I'm gonna shuffle it 5 times here. All right, and then I'm gonna do the same way as I did last time. Just pull the cards and, go from there. Okay. Oh yeah, we have 9 of Swords. Yeah, pile 1. Okay. I think this is a case of your anxiety is literally shackling you down and quite actually just tying you down. And honestly, pile 1, deal with this anxiety first. Really face it. Sit down and really ask what it is that you're truly afraid of, and ask where that fear is coming from. And when you do that, it'll be a lot easier to tackle your career and finances, because you'll be coming at it from a place of desire and want, and you want things to add to your life, not make up for. You know what I'm saying? And because of that, it's pile 1, maybe in terms of finances, you're very susceptible to projecting your worth onto money and your work. And because of that, if you're not working right now, or if you're kind of in the midst of a struggle right now, when I say struggle, it doesn't mean like you're going outside looking for quarters to pay for rent. I mean oh, I only have this much saved up and I'm good for a few more months, but what am I going to do after those few more months? But realistically, pile 1, do understand that you have time right now. And like I said, when it comes down to it, you really will know how to save yourself. And I think you doubt yourself too much. I think that you've literally gone to hell and back, and still you don't believe that you have what it takes to overcome obstacles or overcome this obstacle. And obviously, if you do believe in yourself, more power to you. But I do think that for a good portion of you right now, you've been very worried in terms of finances and career. Do know that what's coming up is heavily based on your ability to deal with these feelings in the moment and deal with what you have been dealt. And how you deal with that will heavily influence what's coming towards you. The work you do now on yourself will heavily influence the abundance that you attract in the future. And I do think that's very realistic, because you just cannot make a lot of money if you believe you can't make a lot of money. You know what I mean? How high of a vibration you're in and how well you're doing, physically, just how you're doing, period, if you're not that spiritual. How you are doing really dictates how everything else around you will be doing, and how you perceive them, and how you kind of create things, and how you, manifest your reality. So pile 1, I really encourage you to understand that this anxiety is trying to tell you something, and that it's a really good moment for you to learn and unlearn things regarding finances and career. Maybe you have money trauma and honestly mood. But just know, sorry, I was burping. That was kind of gross. But yeah, pile 1, I think that with this 9 of Swords, maybe you've had sleepless nights, or maybe you haven't been getting a lot of sleep. I can see a person depicted here that's not getting a lot of rest. Here, let me show you. The bed's nice though. But you see what I mean? It's a nice bed, but he is still worried. This figure is still panicking, and this figure is still not getting enough sleep. And honestly, pile 1, if that doesn't speak volumes to that stability and success are a feeling as opposed to a physical reality. And I think that's harder for some of us to digest than others. Let me get a sip of tea. But I think the more we swallow that pill, the more our situation improves, because you stop projecting yourself onto material things, and because of that, you naturally feel more secure within yourself. And obviously, if you feel secure within yourself, what are you going to attract, And pile 1, I also feel like you're not even doing that bad right now. If you are working or whatever the case may be, whatever your finances and career situation looks like right now, I don't necessarily think you're in a pickle. I feel like you're living in the future and you're worried of things maybe going south or things not being the way you thought they would be. Maybe you're making investments, maybe you're applying to other jobs or something of this sort. But I do think that there is a theme of change in your life in this. There's a theme of change in this portion of your life, and maybe that's what has kind of led you here, because you maybe feel really worried. But do know, pile one, things are changing, and I think that whenever I watch these readings, I get really, like anxious and frustrated, because it's like, oh my gosh, I want this change now. But honestly, if you really want this change now, then start now, start thinking now, start applying to that job that you literally thought you couldn't get. If there's something that you really want, or you need to really ask yourself what it is that you want. And once you do that, you have officially put in an order to the universe, and you are like, hey, I want this. And honestly, pile one, I feel like you're the type of person where if you want something and you have said, hey, this is mine, I think that it comes to you and you really work for it. Yeah, let's pull more cards. 5 of coins. Yeah, I really do feel like you're coming from like a huge loss as of late. 5 of coins, obviously, like, let's not beat around the bush here. It deals with literal loss and financial turmoil and things like that. But I also get this feeling that how much you have lost and how much you're willing to destroy right now, at least in terms of like what's not serving you. Don't go out being self-destructive, pile one. Please don't do that. But what you have lost and how much you're willing to let go of is exactly how much you're going to get. And this really does go back to the whole theme of taking into account what it is that you want and what you feel like you lack. And not like, you lack as in like, but like what it is in your immediate attention span. Like, oh, like I don't have this, but I want it, Ask yourself what it is that you want. Make room for it and watch it literally come to you, It's very interesting, I feel like that is definitely something to think. I feel like I'm beating around the bush of it. It's hard to describe. When you make room for something, it just comes into your life, physically and spiritually, energetically, all of these things, Like, for example, you want a new plant, because I have plants. And you're like, oh, I don't have room for them. And that's the kind of the theme of the excuse. But then you make room for them and here goes nothing. You get a plant, And it's just like, it's this theme of the minute you make space for it and you allow it to come into your life and you want it and you ask yourself what you want to fill that space, it just comes to you, pile one. And I don't know, I feel like you've been in your, like, well, I feel like when the 9 of Swords is literally here, but for sure you've probably been in your head a lot and you've been very worried and you've maybe become very defensive and withdrawn. I feel called to mention that this could have dealt with like a situation with somebody. Maybe somebody kind of did you incorrectly, or like you were just very unhappy in a situation. I feel called to mention that because there's a kid in this picture and this guy seems to be playing bagpipes. So maybe there's this theme of wanting to start a small business or kind of wanting to do something more entrepreneurial or something more freelancing. And honestly, pile one, now there ain't no better time than the moment to just plant those seeds, And I feel like there might be a few toxic mindsets on money, pile one. Do understand that money is always changing. There is no way to save it. And I feel like this applies in so many different ways. Like, for one, inflation, money, the value of money is constantly changing. So how can we truly save up and be wealthy? How can we truly guarantee wealth? How can, wealth is a part of like the flow, it's a mindset. Why do you think kids born into wealthy families end up being wealthy? And why do you think kids born into like poorer families, poverty stricken families end up being poor? It's the mindset that's installed into, it's what you're taught, And unless you break that cycle and you do something consciously against the little voices that have been, ingrained into your head, unless you do that, you will naturally become what you are surrounded by. And when you break away from those things, you realize, hey, yo, I'm not like this. I don't want this. I want this instead. And notice how when you want something and you really allow yourself to want it and accept that part of yourself, you get a lot of backlash. I really do feel like I'm going off topic here, but I do think that this applies. It's just a lot of backlash. People are like, oh, that's not how it is. But honestly, Pile One, do not take advice from people you don't want to be like, period. If there's a manager at a fast food place and they're telling you how to live your life and they're telling you what you should do to become successful, don't listen to them unless they are outright encouraging you to do the things that you want to do, okay? Do not listen to people you're not trying to be like. And no hate to those managers, by the way. No hate to anybody like that, but just know that there's people out there that don't want to be like you and you should stop. Like, Pile One, don't feel like you have to listen to them. Don't feel like if someone's advice literally doesn't resonate for you, like this reading, if this reading doesn't resonate for you, you have complete right to not take it. You don't have to digest it. Okay, another card. Okay, we have Knight of Cups. Interesting. I feel like there's an offering coming towards you. Pile One, I do feel like, okay, this goes a bunch of different ways. One, I feel like maybe you're in this pickle or this mess that you may be in the midst of. And when I say mess, it doesn't have to mean you gone broke. It could be as simple as, $50 went missing from your bank account, or like the restaurant charged you twice by accident, or it could be as severe as, like losing a home or something. What it doesn't matter the magnitude of the loss, it's still a loss to you because your feelings are valid, period. Anyways, with this Nine of Cups, it does seem as though there was a romantic figure or like a male figure that may have caused this loss. But simultaneously, I have to mention romantic because Nine of Cups is very romantic by nature, and I wish more readers would mention that and acknowledge that. But obviously, not everyone's the same. And I do think that there could also be an offering coming by Pile One. I think that it starts with compassion because Nine of Cups is a very compassionate card, very emotional. And I do think that how you treat yourself will really be reflecting how others treat you. And maybe you're very a very karmic person, very karma oriented. And this is obviously, that's a whole other reading, Pile One. But in terms of your finances and career, I do want to keep reiterating that maybe you have an emotional reaction to money, and understand that if you have an emotional reaction to money, that also means that your emotions and how you feel controls your money. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, I'm a Taurus moon. I have an emotional reaction to money. If I lose money, ain't nothing in this world break me down more than when I feel like I've wasted money. Even if it's $1 or $100, I don't care. But simultaneously, if I feel like, hey, yo, like I'm just gonna make this back, it really does work that way. So just understand that you have a lot more control than you think, Pile One. Stop letting your money control you. Stop letting your career control you. And understand that if something's going down in your career, it's probably meant to happen. And there's probably better coming towards you. So let's pull another card. We also have the Hermit. Lots of earth signs here. Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, especially Virgo because of the Hermit. And Scorpio, Pisces, Cancer. And also we have Libra, Gemini, and Aquarius. And I do think that there is an emphasis on Capricorn and Libra as well in this reading. I almost wonder if you have an Earth moon and like an air sun. But anyways, or like a water sun or water rising. But anyways, Pile One, I really do think that with the Hermit card, you've been more of a loner, and maybe you are a very secretive person when it comes to your career and finances. You're like, don't let them know your next move, And good job, honestly, pile one. I do think that you're very susceptible to people ruining your things for you, or like, people sending you bad vibes. Perhaps you get the evil eye very often, especially if you're a Virgo. I find that Virgos are always affected by other people's energy because people can't stand to see Virgos succeed. But I'm going to pull another card and kind of wrap up the reading here. You can kind of read them together. We also got Seven of Swords. Pile one. Okay. If there is anything in this reading that is going to resonate and anything that you're going to take away from this in this whole like 30 minutes, be very careful of who you let in on your plans, your goals, and what you're doing, okay? I say that as a very light-hearted warning, like if someone does come into your life, like they're not going to like nothing's going to hit the fan or nothing. It's not going to go down like that. But I'm just saying, if you want this process of your life to go a little bit smoother, be careful of who you let into your circle and be careful who knows of what you're doing and how you're doing. I think that with the Seven of Swords, you could practice a lot of caution and maybe even frugality. Don't spend what you don't have. And honestly, that's just kind of general advice. Don't be afraid. If you want something, go get it. Like, I'm not going to stop you. Like, no one's going to stop you. It's your money. You worked for it. Who's going to tell you what? But with the Hermit card and Seven of Swords, I think that you are practicing this kind of like being by yourself mentality, and keep going with that pile one. And if you do that, it's going to be easier to take account for what it is that you want without other people kind of influencing, if you do have Libra in your chart, I do think that you're very sensitive to other people's opinions, and not to say you get hurt by them or anything, but I think it's very easy for you to get persuaded in directions you don't even feel called towards. Someone else's voice may be stronger than the voice in your head, and I just need you to understand that your voice is way stronger because only you know how you react to things and what you're capable of and what you feel, especially in this, this area of your life. I think that you very much know what you're doing. You could be a very business oriented person and you know the vibe, pile one. I think that you could even be a small business owner or someone who works at a very prestigious place, or somebody who is very educated. You could be in school for very nice things. You could be like a fourth year, honestly. Whatever the case is, pile one, I do think that you're a more experienced and seasoned worker, and that's why maybe you've been kind of stressed out or maybe kind of worried because you really identified with your successes, but do understand that those successes were a result of you. They weren't, you were there before the success, you know what I'm saying? So take pride in yourself and understand that there are times of loss and that there are times of, drought. And not to say that you're gonna lose money or nothing, or that you've lost a lot, but it doesn't matter what the situation in the 3D world is. The talking point is that you feel like you've lost. It doesn't matter if you've actually lost. You feel like you have, and that alone is valid, and that is enough to mention and talk about. And with the Seven of Swords, I really don't think that a lot of people have been very honest with you, pile one. And maybe it's coworkers. Maybe you got fired from a job because of a coworker, or maybe someone did you dirty in terms of money. They gave you the short end of the deal. But yeah, pile one, I think I'm gonna wrap up this reading by saying that understand that this is a huge moment of downtime for you to kind of recuperate, rest. And like I said, whatever rest means to you, what you find relaxing. When someone says relax, or when someone says, take a second for yourself, whatever immediately comes to mind, I know that I'm a work-oriented person, and when someone says relax to me, I like relaxing with work, but obviously make the work a little less rigorous and laborious. If you really must keep yourself going, maybe go exercise, channel that need to physically do something, go clean the house or something, or go for a walk. Anything that just kind of lets you vent physically, I think that would do some good for you, pile one. The gym maybe is your soft spot, but that's for some of you, not all of you. I've noticed that Virgos really like working out, or they're very health oriented, obviously. But yeah, pile one, take care of yourself for now, and understand that by taking care of yourself, you'll realize your worth, and you'll let go of situations that are haunting you, or situations that clearly aren't serving you. If you're overworked, especially if you're overworked, I'm not saying go quit your job or nothing, but do understand what you're worth and find something else that serves you more, and open your mind up, and it to what you want. And when you do that, your entire reality in terms of finances and career is going to change. I do feel like this has taken a very spiritual undertone. Well, obviously, it's a tarot reading, but pile one, do understand that it's not going to be like this in like a few months or even weeks, one day it's going to change. People have become rich. Like, I just want to express to you how, like, we have people on this platform eating food in front of a camera making more money than like CEOs. So consider that and understand that money is easy when you do something you feel like doing. And understand that you control money, okay? You control your career. It's your career anyways. And depending on how motivated you are and how willing you are to take action and how much you're willing to let go of that isn't for you and what isn't serving you, that is exactly how much you're going to get back, pile one. And yeah, pile one, just know that like it's going to work out, okay? It's going to work out whether you like it or not. So you may as well make this time way more relaxing and way more enjoyable on the way there, okay? So don't rob yourself of this moment, pile one. And yeah, what you do in this moment heavily influences what you try. Okay, I'm done. Okay, that was it, guys. Like, scene. Okay, pile one, that's all I have for you. Thank you so much for watching. If you're here from my last video or you watched my last video, thank you so much. You're amazing. Like and comment and subscribe. I have a witch obsession. I love you. Thank you so much. Leave comments if the reading resonated, like I like being validated. Let me not cap. Let me not lie to you. But yeah. You already know I'm going to say thank you so much for watching. I love you too much. So let me just cut it off here. Bye. Pile 2, if you chose this selenite stick, this is going to be your reading. Messages regarding your finances and career. I love these readings. I have an emotional reaction to money. I was talking to pile 1 about it. But yeah, let's get right into your reading. We have 2 oracle cards. You already knew. No, you didn't. Or you did. Are you psychic? But anyways, we have Wild Woman and we have Repopulation. So, right off the bat, pile 2, sorry. I just find it interesting that we have Repopulation and Wild Woman. This gives me heavy feminine vibes. This gives me Cancer vibes. This gives me like also Taurus vibes. Interesting. But I feel like you could do very good from some cleansing right now. I feel like as a collective, we are overworked and we are tired and we are coming from a place of worry and fear for the future. And I think that pile 2, maybe you are no exception. And not to instill fear into you, pile 2, it's not like that. But with this Repopulation card, I feel like you're in a place right now where you're recovering. And I think that you should stop having this mindset of you're making up for things. You know that saying where you can't make up sleep? Like, oh, I got 4 hours of sleep last night. I'll just take a 4-hour nap and I'll make up for the missing 4 hours. Or like, oh, like I didn't go to the gym today. So instead of 30 minutes today, I'll do an hour today, That's not how it works. And I'll never forget when my 7th grade chemistry teacher told me that. I was like hating on her for it, but like looking back, she was right. And I hate to admit that she was right. But yeah, or I think it was 8th grade. But yeah, pile 2, just understand that if you keep treating your finances and your career from a place of lack, or like you constantly feel like you're making up for something, it's always going to be that way. I feel like money has been changing so much in the material realm that there is no way for us to truly lock it down and truly bring it in, like at least by force. We have to let it choose those who have the mindset for it. And with the Wild Woman card, I actually haven't read too much about this card. I literally just got this oracle deck the other day. I got this oracle deck the other day. But when I look at this Wild Woman card, I just feel like you may very well be a very feminine person because it is a woman. But For full transparency, I have the book here, and let's learn it together. Oh, it was the first page. So we have Instinctual, Fierce, Liberated. This oracle card explores the powerful and instinctual nature of the wild woman archetype, a fierce, creative, and healing force. The wild woman is resilient, determined, and highly intuitive. Each of us has access to this archetype within us. It's the deep instinct that exists underneath our civilized personas. These wild parts of us can be judged as too primal and unevolved, but we need this archetype to liberate us from a still holding patriarchy. And oh, wow. Oh, this? Okay. So, okay. That just gave me this crazy image. Pile 2. This is going to be kind of weird to mention, but I feel like this is a fact. In society, women are always portrayed as they can't do things by themselves. You know what I'm saying? And because of that, it has maybe instilled that belief into women. And not saying that you're a woman, Pile 2, whatever you identify as. I just want to go off tangent for a second. If you feel like you can't do it, understand that that's how it's going to be, Pile 2. The minute you put yourself into I think that this is all over the place. I feel like you have mastered the feminine energy. I feel like you have mastered being able to repopulate yourself and reinvigorate yourself and actually restore energy. You can heal yourself, Pile 2. And I think that, obviously what earlier I said about, if you keep coming from a place of making up for, that's exactly how it's going to be. But I think that also simultaneously, you're very good at healing yourself and, regrowing your fruits, if you know what I mean. I feel like you're a very abundant person. And Pile 2, what I mean by this is that you have such inner power. You have so much depth to you, and you have this well of support and motivation. And basically what I'm trying to say is, the minute you step into a more masculine energy, and not saying that you have to literally become masculine, but if you tackle things in a more masculine and believing manner, things will get done. So make some moves, Pile 2. Honestly, I really do feel like you keep kind of letting things pass you by, or you're kind of just letting life has its way with you as of late in terms of finances and career. And obviously I'll provide more context when we get into the tarot, but I think that a very big undertone in this reading is that there is this kind of shyness, or kind of bashfulness in terms of taking action and kind of stepping up to the occasion. And I feel like it's really hard to do a tarot reading on this subject, because money and career are such a earthly thing and such a physical thing. And it's especially because I have an earth moon, I have a Taurus moon, so it's really hard for us to project spiritual and more emotional beliefs onto finances and career, because we simply don't perceive it that way, because generations after generations, it's been instilled into us that the only way to make money is hard work, grinding, but it's about being calculated, and it's about believing in yourself. I told this to Pile, or maybe I told this, no, I know I told this to Pile 1, but it's just you need to step up more. And it's what you believe in. If you believe in it, you can have it, Pile 2. I was telling Pile 1, why do you think rich kids that are born into rich families become rich? And why do you think poor kids born into poor families become poor? It's the mindset. It's about what you believe in and how you take your action, and how you decide to step up. Your masculine energy is very important in that sense. So let's get into the tarot. Wow, that was a lot. But yeah, I don't know. I feel like I like approaching finances and career from a spiritual place, because it does kind of help. Because, if we read from the physical realm, like, or like, if we kind of treat it more like literally, then it'll be kind of difficult because you don't believe what you don't see, but you have to see it first to have it, then to believe it. Yeah, we're using the Lua Tarot today. I love this tarot deck. It's by Divine Muses on Etsy. Go check them out. They're amazing. The shop is so nice. Oh my gosh. The person that runs it, so amazing. Yeah. Messages regarding finances and career for pile 2. Shuffling it 5 times. And I'm going to do it the same way as I did with my last reading. Kind of pull one card at a time. So yeah. We have 2 of Wands. Ooh, okay. I definitely do think that there are decisions to be made here, pile 2. I think that there's a lot of 2s going on here. 2 of Wands, pile 2. 2 candles, if that matters. But I really do feel like you're at a crossroads right now. And maybe you've been kind of retreating within yourself, pile 2. I'm sensing this vibe of like somebody who is kind of just keeping to themselves as of late and kind of like recovering from something. You very well may be healing right now, but I do think that with this 2 of Wands, there are decisions to be made coming up in your finances and career, and there are things to balance out. Do understand that there are situations that are going to be coming in to kind of rock your boat and to kind of like take you off steady ground, but this is very important, very necessary for you to take action. I think that you don't really take action that often unless you're very agitated or you for sure know that the action you are taking is like risk-free, It's like, how to describe it? Like, I feel called to mention like Mario Party, whenever you have the dice that only has moving spaces and doesn't have like a bad spot on it, it doesn't have like a minus 2 coins on it, I feel like you are not that kind of person. I feel like you are someone who likes to, like, even if you do only one step forward, you're like, okay, but that was risk free, I feel like you play it very safe, pile 2. And I think that with the 2 of Wands, it would not hurt you to take some risk. And obviously, like, you don't have to take big risks or nothing. Like, I'm not saying go out to like Vegas or something and start gambling your life away, or play, like, don't get down like that, pile 2. But and I like how I'm speaking to you like you were thinking about it and you're about to do that, but just to keep myself safe. But pile 2, I do think that with the 2 of Wands, there are crossroads right now, and I do feel like you're also very confused right now. Maybe because you're in the midst of kind of like regaining things or kind of like recovering and kind of restoring yourself. It's kind of unclear to you what it is that you're missing because you feel as though like you're already replenishing yourself, and it's just like, okay, well, what do I need next? Because I'm like still in the midst of something, But that was a little confusing. It's just like not understanding what it is that you truly need to do right now. I think that it's very unclear to you right now what choice and what decisions will yield the best income and the best results. And maybe that's why you've just been kind of like not stagnant, but kind of like, like waiting things out. I think that there has been a huge waiting game theme for all of us, but I think that especially for you, but honestly, it was a big theme in pile 1 too, so I don't know. But yeah, let's pull another card actually. Also have King of Swords. This goes a few different ways. I do think that the King of Swords refers to the fact that you need to be more discerning and more clean cut. We have fire here. We have Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, and we have Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. But I really do feel like with this King of Swords, it would be wise for you to be more critical and much more clean about things, like stop. I think it would help you to turn things more black and white. Maybe that's what's necessary right now. I feel like there's been a lot of gray in your life, and because of that, it's been kind of unclear to you as to what to do next. Like when I come at this reading, I just feel very disoriented, and I feel like because of my disorientation, I feel like I can't approach anything. It feels like maybe you feel like you don't know how to approach anything. Maybe like I'm getting like Seven of Cups vibes. You know what I'm saying? It seems as if though everything looks good. You know, every single option looks the same. But King of Swords, honestly, Pile 2, you could really benefit from being more critical and being more, like cutthroat. It's like, these two jobs pay the same, but this one, like, I don't like that there's no parking. I don't like that drive this far. Look for the subtleties and be more nitpicky and be more, like raise your standards, Pile 2. And at that point, it'll become very clear to you as to what you need to do or want to do. And with the King of Swords, I also feel called to mention, because the way I read this card, I always have to mention that it could be like a masculine energy. Because, whenever I do readings for people, I'm always like, King of Swords, I always refer to like a dad that's being a jerk, or kind of like a boss that's being a jerk, or like, just this masculine energy that's just being very like not a vibe. So that could be a problem with you, Pile 2. Whatever the case is, do not let this masculine energy influence you. You could be a mother, Pile 2. You could be like a stepmother, a mother, just more maternal figure. But, obviously you don't have to be, but that's just for some of you. And I feel like you really could benefit from making choices for yourself and doing things that you want to do. Don't let other people make decisions for you or tell you what to do, Pile 2. That is a very important theme in your reading. And with this Two of Wands, you may be torn. Maybe you're torn between what someone else would want or what you want. Always go with what you want, period. Just do it, okay, Pile 2? Do what you want to do, okay? This is your life, okay? So let's pull another card here. We also have Knight of Cups. Interesting. Pile 1 got this card as well. If you felt called to Pile 1, maybe watch Pile 1. Not to be like, oh my god, watch my video, but, like, there could be something in there for you too. But Knight of Cups. I do feel like, okay, for full transparency, the Knight of Cups is a very romantic card to me. That's how I read it. So this could deal with a very romantic figure. It could be like a husband, a boyfriend, someone you're interested in, or it could be someone else's boyfriend or husband or whatever not. Whatever the case is, I do think that like the Knight of Cups is referring to the fact that you may be also getting an offering, Pile 2. Things are changing, and as a result, like, you're getting opportunities. And I also think that you should not, I feel like this Knight of Cups has like dual meaning. One being like, don't let someone else's, like, don't let a man like, or like someone with masculine energy like tell you what to do. And also on the other hand, I feel like there could be like maybe romantic offerings coming in, but that doesn't have to be the case. It could just be like a very gentle offering, like, hey, can you like do this for me, or like, can you cover this shift for me, or like, this person bailed on me, can you do it for me? Like, I felt called to mention like, hey yo, like, my cameraman bailed out on me, can you please help me? Like, that would mean a lot. Just a very emotional offering I'm sensing coming in. And I do think that this could also be you. Maybe you could be making an emotional offering. Maybe you want to make a move, like a very softer move, like very softer move, wow, but like make a very gentle request, like, hey, like, can I do this? Or like, apply to a job, or ask a friend, be like, hey, can you put in a word for me? But whatever the case may be, the Knight of Cups is a very gentle card compared to the rest of the cards I've drawn, especially with this King of Swords and Two of Wands. Even in the artwork, you can kind of tell it's more blurred and more, like, I can't say pastel because it's black and white, but it's more gentle in nature. And I think that because of that, it's like you can aggressively make up your mind, but make the actual execution gentle, And also, Pile 2, be kind to yourself too. That could be a very important message. Be nice to yourself, Pile 2. Understand that your finances and career don't define you. And if you are in the midst of a downtime right now, it's changing. and there are going to be opportunities presenting themselves to you. And with this Two of Wands, you really need to be ready for that decision, and you really need to be ready to, be on your feet, and kind of like be ready to be on it. There's no way for me to say this. Like, if you are not in the right mindset whenever these decisions start popping up, like, you will start freaking out, okay? It will literally be everything you wanted at once, and it's just like, you'll be very much on the go. I'm sensing a lot of Libra energy, heavy Libra energy today in the readings, but yeah, let's pull another card. We also have Death. Ooh, you could be a Scorpio, but yeah. When I said things are changing, I meant things are changing. With this Death card, I said this to pile 1. How much you're willing to let go of is how much you're gonna get back. And it seems as if though, as of like these readings I'm sensing are really gonna be about making room for better as opposed to actually getting better. And I feel like that's kind of frustrating. I think that, with this Saturn retrograde that just passed, it's very annoying and it's very agitating, like come on, dude, like, why we gotta keep doing this work when we just want to thrive, But I think that this is kind of like the last of it, I think that this is a kind of like a end of the stretch before things start coming in, especially because we had Two of Wands and Knight of Cups here. Like I said, there's probably offerings coming in towards you, and there are going to be decisions to be made. Like I said, I keep mentioning that, and I just want that to, like, if you leave this reading with anything, just know that there are crossroads coming and that there are decisions to be made coming up. But with this Death card, you really got to let go of things that are influencing you in the wrong direction, and you really got to let go of things that aren't serving you, things that are outdated, Like, if you quit a job recently, stop hanging on to it. It's not the vibe. It's not what you should have been with. There's a reason you quit. If you let go of a partner, just know you let go of them for a reason. What if there just seems to be this theme of letting things go in this reading, and understand that you don't need anybody to push you or somebody to keep you going or even keep you safe and protected. You're very much capable of doing that yourself, pile 2. And I feel like I've struggled with that too. I feel like for a while I felt like I needed a masculine figure in my life to guide me. And honestly, like, I just have a lot of trauma regarding like masculine figures and men, because I wanted to feel safe and protected. I felt like I couldn't do things by myself. And pile 2, if you feel the same way, just know that the only person that can only ever save you is yourself. That was a very specific message, but I had to mention it. And just understand that one day it's not gonna be like this. Like, I remember watching this video of this YouTuber, and she used to be filthy stinking rich. She used to get millions of views in like the early 2010s, but then like she just kind of like her channel, like the like the culture of YouTube changed and all that, and like she really did like fall flat. And she was talking in her video, and like she said it just like that, like, one day it's not gonna be that way. And pile 2, just understand that's exactly how it is. Like, it's not gonna constantly be like this. And do understand that if you feel stagnant right now, like, it's changing day by day, minute by minute, second by second, hour by hour, and it doesn't seem like it, but it's all boiling up to something else. And I do think that it's a huge tension and release moment for all of us collectively. I do think that we're going to pick up a lot more, and then once we do, everything will kind of snap, and then we'll have a huge event, especially because of that full moon in Taurus coming up. But yeah, pile 2, just understand that things are changing right now, and it's very important that, especially in terms of your finances and career, don't make any rash moves right now. Don't be irrational. Don't be over emotional, especially if you are a Scorpio. Be nicer to yourself. I'm a Scorpio, and I'm very susceptible, like, taking things out on myself, blaming myself, getting angry with myself. But literally, you did nothing. You just tried your best. That's all you can appreciate yourself for. Be nicer to yourself, and understand that being nicer to yourself will help you make these decisions, because it'll help you make the decision that you truly want. If you are being rude to yourself, you're going to be like, no, you don't deserve that. And then look what happened. So let's pull one more card. The Hanged One. Ooh. I wish I pulled this card earlier had I known. But yeah, I feel like looking at this reading, first of all, like the Hanged One, I feel like don't take little opportunities and sacrifice the big one. You know what I'm saying? Just kind of like accepting little victories to keep yourself satisfied that will take away from the bigger victory. You know what I'm saying? I don't know how to describe it. It's just this sense of, if you keep sacrificing the moment to keep like feel safe in the moment, like you won't grow. You know that saying of like, if you want to like grow, you have to step out of your comfort zone. It's true. It's true, Pile 2. And I feel like, I think that people kind of misconstrue that idea a lot, especially if you are a Scorpio. Like I said, like maybe like discomfort is a huge theme in your life, or it has been as of late. There's been a lot of scorpionic themes as of late, and low-key kind of makes me feel exposed. I'm like, wow, y'all, like I just like being, like mysterious, and like going to the grocery store and people being like, wow, why is he so done up? But anyways, I digress. So with the Hanged One, like, don't stay in your comfort zone. Like, especially if you're naturally being pulled out of, like, stop fighting the currents that are kind of pushing you right now. Like, go with the go with the flow more, Pile 2, and be a lot more easygoing, and understand that this moment of stagnancy, or this moment of like this waiting period, is very important. It's presenting a lot that was hidden and a lot that we thought we couldn't see. It's just this vibe of like, it's not like this anymore. What we thought we could hang on to is no longer. Material things no longer can save us. No amount of money can save us anymore. No amount of money will ever make us feel comfortable, stable, secure, happy. People say money can't buy happiness. Well, and I honestly have to, like, I agree to disagree at that statement, because I'm a material girl and money does buy happiness. But also, money doesn't save you from anxiety. Like, you can buy as many anxiety pills as you want, or like, things like that. But the reality is the anxiety is still there. You're just sweeping it under the rug. It's like, these things can't save us. And stop trying to save yourself, Pile 2. Stop doing that. And I'm not saying like let yourself fall and like, like plummet or anything. But I'm just saying that this is a good moment for you to grow, and that this is a very uncomfortable moment. And I'm sorry, but it's going to be harder to make these decisions and let better things into your life if you keep hanging on to what is no longer serving you but is familiar. If it's familiar, that's great, but it still takes up space, because that's the nature of things. That's just how things are. That's how energy is. Energy is, like matter is like never created nor destroyed. That's how it is. And so just know that, like, if you make room for better, better will come. Okay, Pile 2. That's the best way I can say it. And I think that with the Hanged One, that you may have been struggling with decision making. I think that if you are at a I have been mentioning this crossroads thing kind of this whole reading, but maybe you are at this crossroads. And honestly, if you are, be patient. Don't feel the need to rush things, especially if you're a Libra. Oh my gosh, so much Libra in this reading, and Capricorn. Lots of cardinal signs like Aries, Libra, Capricorn, and Cancer. Lots of cardinal energy here. So do understand that your impatience will maybe has been the death of you, but do understand that don't make any rash decisions right now. Be more gentle, be more emotional. Let that part of you come out, especially with this Knight of Cups here. And in your finances and career, like, it's hard because I feel like I'm mentioning a lot of like emotion, spirituality in such a like a 3D type of like topic for reading. But honestly, the truth is, like, we collectively, and maybe you especially, Pile 2, have projected your worth, your well-being onto your money and your career. You have literally become what, like, you have made yourself your work. And in certain situations, I think that's okay. I think there's a lot of nuances in that statement, but it has gotten unhealthy, Pile 2, to where you are constantly basing yourself off of that, and you're constantly like beating yourself up for being indecisive or changing or things like that. If you are a woman, just know that, like, or like you identify as a woman, pardon me. If you identify as a woman, just understand that, like, society and, like, honestly, this world is very against you changing, and maybe you feel guilty for that, especially if you're like a maternal figure, like people wouldn't react as much as, like, people reacting to their dad getting a haircut is not nearly as severe as their mom getting a haircut. And that was very random, but I felt very called to mention it because it's like it shows that kind of like dynamic of like how we react to change amongst more feminine energies compared to more masculine energies. And just understand that, don't be ashamed of these changes. Don't be ashamed that you've been maybe indecisive as of late, or kind of like, like literally strung upside down with this hanged card. And do know that masculine energies don't have a say in what is meant for you and what you want. What is meant for you will come to you. And the minute you let your emotions dictate your finances as opposed to your finances dictate your emotions, your entire like situation will improve greatly. So yeah, that's all I have for you, Pile 2. Thank you so much for watching. I love you. If you watched my last video with the what makes you attractive, thank you so much. That video went bonkers and I'm so happy. You're amazing. And if you watch this reading too, I love you. You're amazing. Money's coming. Like, don't even worry. It's like that. But yeah, like, comment, and subscribe because I'm like a YouTuber. But yeah. I'm literally gonna say thank you so much for watching. I love you, Pile 2, like a million times. So I'm just gonna say bye. So bye. Pile 3, if you chose this rose quartz heart, this is gonna be your reading. So, oh my gosh. The readings today have taken a very spiritual and like emotional undertone. And I don't know, I just feel like if you're here, like, you probably have a very spiritual mindset, or you're a very like emotional person. So like, I just will tell you that, like, the readings aren't so much like do this and that and like this is coming towards you, but more of like how you can kind of improve your mindset to attract better. So if you're here for that, thank you. But if not, I wanted to save you some time because I haven't told the other piles because I was like, oh, but that's how they ended up being. So for your cards, your oracle cards, we got Muse of Poetry and Left Out with the Wolves. So right off the bat, Pile 3, I feel very called to mention that it's important for you to express yourself in whatever fashion or form. And I think that, okay, for full transparency, I actually am still learning this oracle deck. So before we get into it, I think I want to read a paragraph out of the actual page for the book, for the Muse of Poetry. So it is evocation, emotional expression, verbal rhythm. The Muse of Poetry is a representation of Erato, if I'm saying that wrong, pardon me, the patron Greek muse of lyrical love, poetry, and song. Erato means desired or lovely, which has the same root as Eros, the Greek god of love. Ancient poets turned to Erato when they wanted to channel their deep expressions of desire and passion for their beloveds. The Muse of Poetry isn't just about love poetry. Our emotions are diverse and merit poetic evocation when they bubble up to the surface. American poet Emily Dickinson is famously known for exploring themes of death and immortality, as well as love. So, Pile 3, with that being said, and the Left Out with the Wolves card, maybe you are dealing with a lover or like somebody in your life that you're very close to, and maybe they've been the source of like a lot of like financial abandon or like career abandon. I'm sensing like, I thought we were going to start a business together, or like, I thought we had shared finances, just this theme of like your like your relationships, period, romantic, platonic, all of the above, are somehow like tied with your finances and your career. And maybe there's just been kind of this disconnect in the middle, and because of that you feel kind of alone. And it doesn't even have to be like someone did something, but you just haven't really expressed yourself in that, and as a result you feel very alone in your career and finances. You're like, oh my gosh, I have to do this all by myself, no one supports me. But honestly, Pilot 3, with the muse of poetry, I think that you are probably a very well articulated person, somebody who is very poetic. No pun intended. I don't know if that's a pun or not. But, or someone who is very expressive. I'm sensing a lot of Pisces energy here, lots of water, Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio. But Pisces especially, because Pisces I find to be very poetic. And also Virgo, because it's the sister sign. So, you could be one of those signs. But especially the rising sign, I feel called to mention Pisces rising. But pile 3, I feel like, do understand that this isolated feeling you may be experiencing may be a result of yourself. Not like, oh, like it's your fault that you feel alone, like not to like blame it on you, like not to victim blame. That's not how it is, but more of like, like, don't project that and don't feel like you're alone when you're truly not. And if you have been put in a position where you are alone, this is happening for a reason. I do feel like a majority of you, like, you just feel alone, and that's just kind of the end all. Like, that's just the base of the reading. Okay, let's just work with that. If you feel alone, just know that this is because you've been kicked out of your comfort zone to truly grow and do what it is that you want. If you feel like you're at a place of loss right now, and like, no matter what you do, like, you feel like lost, or you feel very, like, scared, just know that, like, first of all, everything always works out, even if you, like, want it to or not. Like, we have no true control over how things pan out. We literally can't control anything. Like, I wish we could. Like, I wish I could control everything so I could just, like, move on with my life. But I also think that it's very comforting, because if everything's going to work out anyways, you may as well do what you love and do what you feel like doing. And it very well may involve poetry, love, anything dealing with self-expression or like beauty, things like that. Like, maybe you want to marry rich, and if you want to do that, go for it. Like, I ain't gonna stop you. It's your life. But whatever it is that you want to do, you have to do it. And you have to understand that being all by yourself right now means that you have complete, unlimited creative freedom. And this applies to your finances and career, because maybe you want to do something that you love, but you feel like nobody will support you. Well, no one's going to support you, because everyone believes that the only way to make money is through a 9 to 5. And obviously 9 to 5s can be a very good source of money, but like, that doesn't mean you're happy. Money isn't happiness. It truly can't buy you happiness. It can buy you excitement, and like, it can make you happy, but after a period of time, like, it's not sustainable. Money's always changing. There's no way for us to truly lock down that feeling. Like, feelings of grief, sadness, and heartbreak, and this feeling that you may be feeling doesn't have favorites. It picks really whoever, but in this moment, it's happening to you for a reason. And understand that it's a very good moment for you to, like, find your group of people that agree with what you want to do in terms of career. If you want to be, like, for example, I want to be a stand-up comic and I want to be a YouTuber. So I want to surround myself with people who have done those things, and if I can't find those people, I will read content or watch content from people who do those things. Don't take advice from people who literally don't embody what you want to be. Like, if you're working at, like, I don't know, a retail store, and someone's there and they've been working there for like 10 years, good on them. They're making their bag. They're legendary. We love them. They're the reason why we can, like, go shop at retail and, like, there's things to buy. Like, we love them. But also, if you're not trying to be like them and they're out here telling you how to live your life, don't listen to them, okay? Like, I'm sorry that like I'm not trying to be like you. Why would I take your advice? I'm only taking advice from people I want to be like. So unless you're supporting me, don't talk to me. And I think that that's how you should really treat things, pile 3, and understand that if you've chosen this rose quartz, like it's really about appreciating yourself and really about like loving yourself and what you do, what you want to do. The sun's coming out. Wow, pile 3, this is so nice. But wow, it's really coming out. That's bright. But things are changing, pile 3, and as a result, it's very important that the seeds you sow now are based on what you love and what you want to do and what you really see yourself doing for money. And to be fully transparent, like I started YouTube because I want to be a YouTuber. I want to make money off of doing tarot readings. Like that sounds tacky, but it's what I want to do. And I think that it's been demonized by a lot of people, but it's like if it's your dream, like who's gonna stop you, pile 3. Like just do what you feel like doing, and like do understand that like if it deals with poetry, like I really do feel like it deals with like writing or something. Maybe you want to write a book, but do what makes you happy, pile 3. Like don't do something you don't want to do for money. That's not how it works. Well, it can work, but it's unsustainable. Like you eventually get burnt out. I think that we all get burnt out no matter what we do. So it's when you apply that, like if you're gonna get burnt out anyways, you may as well get burnt out doing something you love. So yeah, let's get into the tarot. I'm using the Lua tarot today, and it's by Divine Muses here on Etsy. They're super amazing. I highly recommend checking them out. Their stuff sells out really fast though, so I would highly recommend going a little bit early, like checking very frequently. Alright. Messages for pile 3 regarding career and finances. Messages for pile 3 regarding career and finances. Alright, shuffled it 5 times. I'm going to do it like how I did in the last video, where I just pulled one card at a time. Alright, first card we have Queen of Wands. Oh my god, pile 3, we love to see it. You probably are a very fun, flamboyant, exciting, creative person. All of the above. All of the above. Anything that embodies the Queen of Wands. Side note, I love this Queen of Wands. Do you see how beautiful she is, pile 3? Like, this is you. Like, this is the energy that you embody. Someone who is doing what they want, chasing their dreams, being flamboyant, having fun. In pile 3, keep doing that. It doesn't matter how lonely it is. Like, do what you want to do, do what you love. Like literally the other day, like I ate at a restaurant by myself. Like it doesn't matter. But yeah, so with the Queen of Wands, I also feel like a lot of these creative pursuits may deal with like, or like what you want to do in terms of career really deals with creative pursuits. Sorry, I'm like really distracted. I see someone delivering a package outside and it's like throwing me off. But anyways, pile 3, I'm so sorry. Do understand that you probably have a lot of creative pursuits. Like I said, I sense a lot of entrepreneurial energy here, and like a lot of like I want to do this, or like like be rich and famous. And if you want to be rich and famous, go be rich and famous. It's that simple. Go do it. LOL. Like we have, like I told this to I think I told this to pile 1 or pile 2, but we have people eating food in front of a camera making as much money as CEOs. So why can't you do what you love for money? There's no argument. And just know that like I do sense that you believe in yourself, and maybe this like left out the wolves cards kind of deals with like maybe you have like this resentment or like bitterness towards people who don't believe in you, or maybe you feel very alone and isolated. And I say bitterness more than like sadness, because Queen of Wands is, I feel like a fire energy would be more susceptible to anger and bitterness as opposed to like heartbreak. But it could be both, but I don't think that you should take it personally. Like I said, pile 3, when you become lonely doing the things that you love, it's because like other people haven't really stepped up to the occasion like that. Like if people aren't doing what they love for a living, they're obviously not going to be able to identify with you or like like relate to you, pile 3. So do understand that it's a lonely path to where you want to get, but do know that you're going to get there with or without their help. So you may as well keep going, and along the way you'll attract way better relationships that are better for you. Like, don't hang out with people that like don't help you in any way. I feel like that's very shallow to say and kind of tacky, like, oh, like friends that benefit you, like only having people in your life because they benefit you. But like, that's how it works. Like, I benefit my friends and they benefit me. That's how relationships work. That's how the symbiosis science AF works. There's no need to keep people in your life that just weigh you down and constantly take from you and not add anything back to your life. That's just so exhausting. So yeah, let's draw another card. Ooh, Ace of Swords. Oh my gosh, pile 3. I do think that with the Ace of Swords, you're gaining a lot of momentum. And I do think that once you make I think that you have already made some decisions, but if you haven't, just know that you're coming into that place of making decisions. And it's this sense of like, how do I describe it? Like, I have made up my mind, I am doing this. Or like, this is what I want to do with myself. This is what I want to do for money. And I think that if you have embodied that, just know that like you're coming to a lot of realizations right now, and I think that you'll have a lot of epiphanies coming up, especially regarding like your career. And I think that naturally will obviously tie in with your finances. Like, the more epiphanies you have regarding your career, the more you'll have with your finances. Those things kind of like tie together. But I do think that with the Ace of Swords, I also feel called to mention that like there's an opportunity, or there is a chance for you to say something. Maybe you're waiting to say something or communicate to someone. There could be a Queen of Wands that you wanting to communicate. So like a feminine figure that's very exciting and flamboyant. Someone who maybe like you want to do like an internship, or like you want someone to like mentor you or like tutor you, something like that. And that could be the situation here. But it could be a teacher too. Another card. We have 8 of Wands. I sense a lot of fire energy here. I feel very called to mention just all of them, like Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. And with the 8 of Wands, like, I think that you came up to these conclusions very fast. Your life is definitely gaining a lot of momentum. I think that your pile is the only one that's like truly on the go right now. I think that you're very much on the move right now. And I think that things are really changing around you right now. And when I say changing, like, things are coming in. With the 8 of Wands, I feel like either now or very soon, like, things are gonna start picking up very quickly in your finances, especially. I'm sensing, I think that once you start making the monies, it's gonna start coming in even quicker. Like, you'll really get the ball rolling, like, you'll start pumping the gas, if you know what I mean. Like, it's gonna be very quick, pile 3. Like, this reading feels very quick. It doesn't feel I feel like this is gonna be a really short reading compared to the other piles, but I am sensing that like there's just, I don't know how to describe it, pile 3, like, to be fully transparent with you. Like, you're just very quickly coming up to these decisions, or someone is coming up to you and they're gonna be like, hey, do you want to do this? And I feel like it could be a Queen of Wands for some of you. But I'm gonna pull another card, actually. Okay, we also have King of Coins. Wow. Interesting. I feel like the King of Coins could really be talking about treating your money carefully. And what I mean by that is, learn how to handle your money as if you already have all the money that you want, and attract more money that way. You know what I mean? Practice your finances the way you would practice them when you're already rich. And I'm not saying like, oh, like, go crazy, spend, go shopping, and like that side of it, but rather, in order to properly invest, you have to think like an investor. You know what I'm saying? And if you want to be a good money maker, you have to treat your money like a good money maker. And I think that with the Queen of Wands, you can do it in a very flamboyant manner and do it with a lot of excitement and a lot of strength and belief, like, this is my money. This is how I'm going to treat it. Really take control of your money, in the sense that don't let it control you. And with this 8 of Wands, like, once you do that, it'll become like it will happen very quickly, pile 3. There's no other way for me to describe it. But I also think that with this left out with the wolves cards, it's kind of important that you don't let this fear or like this bitterness that I was talking about earlier get the best of you, or let it be something that kind of dictates how you work. I think that you could be very susceptible to like egotism, like don't participate in talking smack about coworkers, don't participate in talking smack about other people or bringing down others for the sake of bringing yourself up. That's for some of you, not all of you. And understand that you have to treat others the way you would want to be treated, and understand that everyone's trying just as hard as you. I don't know, like that's just a very specific message. I do think that like with the Queen of Wands, there can be like a short temper, and there can be like a little bit of like bitterness and kind of like anger, like as I mentioned, and I think that it's important that gets addressed here because with the Eight of Wands, you're very quick on your feet and you're very, reactive, and as a result, like obviously this is a good thing because it's makes you a decisive person and someone who is very quick on their feet, but simultaneously it can obviously, backfire and not go the way you wanted it to. But yeah, pile 3, just understand that with the Ace of Swords there is an idea and you need to protect this idea. Like, I really can't say it. I think that if you're going to absorb anything from this reading, protect your ideas, protect your beliefs, and don't water them down for other people, but simultaneously practice being humble. So yeah, I'm going to pull one more card, and I think that's going to be it for your reading. Your reading is very short compared to the other readings. The Wheel of Fortune. Oh my gosh. I mean, I was talking about change, but with the Wheel of Fortune, like this card is literally about karma and change. Do know that, I feel like how you treat other like competitors and like businesses, like if you are doing a small business, but like whatever the case may be, I feel like you want to do something more creative and like you want to do something more like expressive, more freelancing. But obviously, when you get into it, shine in the way that you shine, You shine because what you do and what you create is exclusive to you no matter what. Like, it doesn't matter how much people try to copy you. Like, your energy is still in what you do, and your energy is the important part. Do not compete with other people. Don't compete where there is no competition, okay? Like, obviously, like, for example, like, I was very skeptical and very, like, shy and bashful about doing tarot readings on YouTube, but, like, realistically, you have to know that, like, your energy and what you produce is still just, like, exclusive and bespoke to you. And therefore, you will always have an audience. You will always have people that like you, people that always, like, tune into what you have to say, what you do. So with that being said, don't compete with other people. Don't come from a place of trying to be like them. When you compete, you naturally become like the competition, and that's just not how it is. Like, don't become part of the crowd. Do what you want to do, and that's what naturally sticks you out from the crowd. And with the King of Coins, like, it'll bring in a lot of abundance and a lot of prestige, a lot of respect. I'm just sensing like somebody who has a blazer on, they grab like the sides of the blazer, like they just like, tug it down, like I'm that, like I'm this. But yeah, with the Wheel of Fortune, really embrace this time of your life and really embrace what you are doing and hang on to it and watch as things kind of like shift around to compensate for it. Once you have made your mind up, I'm doing this for money. That's it. Like, that's the statement. Like, once you say that, like, what choice does everything else have but to cave into you? Like, if you truly remain stubborn about it, like, that's just how it's gonna be. I'm sensing a lot of grand energy here, lots of Sagittarius and Taurus, I'm sensing, and also Capricorn. Just all the earth signs, so, Virgo, Capricorn, Taurus, and Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. Also some air here, so Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. But there's an emphasis on like Libra and also Aquarius. I feel like maybe you have very strong Aquarius placements in your chart. But yeah, pile 3. I think I'm going to wrap up this reading by saying like keep doing what you love. And you know, if you have a lot of like pursuits that you have, especially like creative, like maybe you want to be like a singer, or like you want to like do, you know, more freelancing things, as I've been mentioning for the past 20 freaking minutes. Keep pushing, okay? You gotta keep going. Like, you gotta keep believing in yourself. No one else is gonna believe in you like you will. And understand that it's gonna work out if you keep being consistent and you keep being steady with it. With the King of Coins, I think that if you practice good routine, practice good schedules, you will naturally get to where you want to be. You know, like take it like business, you know, like Google ideas, you know, look to other people, like look for inspiration, look for like other people that have succeeded where you're trying to succeed, you know. Like read those things. I remember there's another tarot reader on YouTube. Her name's Vanessa Samina. You probably know her, but she's famous AF. We love her. She's amazing. But she said you are the sum of 5 people that you surround yourself with, and honestly, that's very true. And you know, if you don't surround yourself with anybody, surround yourself with motivation. You know, like I want to be a stand-up comic, so I've been reading a book by a stand-up comic. Her name's Ali Wong. You know, take inspiration. You know, surround yourself with energies that you're trying to be like. You know, surround yourself with energies that inspire you, not energies that criticize you or tell you how to be better. You know, you're doing the best that you can, and in that sense it's already the best, top quality. So I really don't feel like this was like a huge like awakening type reading, but rather like a push and be like, you need to keep going, and like you need to keep believing in yourself. And with the Wheel of Fortune, like in the Ace of Swords, the more ideas you pop up and the more like things you do, like the more things are changing, you know. Like I feel like your words are very powerful, pile 3. I always say this in at least one of the readings, but like maybe you jinx things a lot, or maybe like when you say things, like people are like, oh, like whatever, like you're just saying that, but then it happens, you're like that I told you so. But yeah, pile 3. I think that's all I have for you. Keep believing in yourself. I believe in you. I love you. Thank you so much. If you watched my last reading, or if you watched any of my videos, really, I thank you so much. Like, I can't believe how much that last reading blew up. I'm so excited. But yeah, and please like and comment and subscribe, you know. Like, I'm a YouTuber now. This is my dream. Thank you. If you watch this whole reading, like, thank you so much. I love you. Like, oh my god, like, you literally just contributed 20 minutes to my lifelong dream. So yeah, before I start saying thank you so much for watching pile 3, I love you, it's like 5 million times. I'm just gonna cut it off now. Bye.